A lot of the time when I'm dealing with these 8-bit RPGs, all I can really say about them is, it's another Dragon Quest clone. Well, I'm pleased to say that STED is not another Dragon Quest clone. It's a Phantasy Star clone. It's also the last 8-bit game by SNK affiliate K Amusement Leasing. They're going to release a few Super Famicom ports of SNK games, and then presumably just get back into the business of leasing amusements. The story of STED is that you're passing a planet with your spaceship when you're attacked by monsters. You get a radio call telling you to land and find someone, so you do, and it turns out to be a woman who will join your party to help you fight monsters. I have my usual line about RPGs not mixing well with my format. Needing to make a video a day limits my time to record, and a lot of RPGs can take several hours of play before they really open up. It's rare occasions where I encounter an RPG that puts the player right into the action. STED is not one of those. In fact, there's a good chance it's the grindiest RPG on the Famicom. And when you consider how much 8-bit RPGs want you to grind, that is saying something. Your first real goal, after you meet the woman who sent the message, is to get to the next town where you can buy some required equipment. So you set foot out of the starting village and get attacked. The enemies in this initial area require 2 to 3 rounds of concentrated attacks to defeat one. The groups that attack you range in size from 2 to 6. The experience and money that you get is somewhat randomized, but I had to take down roughly 15 enemies before I leveled up for the first time. You'll want to be about level 4 before you head to the second village, which by my math will take you about 2 hours. Sure, you could just head there, and eventually I did because I wanted to get additional footage. But the enemies around the second village will beat you up pretty bad. Unless you get lucky with a group, you're going to have a hard time defeating anything over there. Making things worse is the fact that I don't recommend that you buy starting equipment. The stronger equipment only increases your attack or defense by 1 point, and these are about 12 when you start. And if you buy starting equipment, then you can't afford the special equipment when you get to the next town. And don't try grinding up for cash. Enemies drop effectively no money. And that's not just a starting area problem. In order to afford any better equipment requires hours of grinding. And at one late point in the game, you have to purchase a 10,000 credit item, and it's a consumable. So if you use it before you were supposed to, then that's 2 or 3 hours of grinding to get those 10,000 credits back. You're given 1,000 credits to start with. It'll cost about 300 credits to upgrade your 3 party members that wear equipment, and you'll have to have 250 credits when you get to the second town so that you can outfit the 4th party member. That 4th member is a robot who can't do anything until they get their special equipment. They don't even recover health when you stay at an inn. Instead, you have to get items to repair them with. Each enemy in the initial areas drops 1 to 2 credits, so you will not have the money that you need. At least staying at an inn to recover health is cheap. Kind of. When you go to an inn, you choose how many nights you want to stay, and every night that you stay at the inn, you recover 10 health and ESP points. You're going to have less mind points than health points, so generally you'll want to use your mental abilities to heal your party before you stay at the inn. Except it takes a long time before you unlock those abilities. So when you're starting out, you just have to keep going back and paying. If you need to save, then you can do so with terminals at the inn, and there are 2 battery save slots in this game. Your hit points aren't the sole measure of your health. You also accumulate damage to individual body parts. Your head, torso, arms, and legs. And when these run low, they affect your combat performance. To fix those up, you have to go to a hospital and pay the high price of future medicine. When you level up, you get to assign points to health and mind, and then you assign additional points to 4 stats: attack, defense, speed, and wisdom. The leveling system's also a little bit different here. You increase up to level 8, and then you go up another tier, and then you're level 0 at that new rank. As you increase in rank, you get more points to spend when you level up. I mentioned that this was a Phantasy Star clone, and that extends to the dungeons, which are in the first-person perspective. Unfortunately, the first dungeon is about 5 or 6 hours of grinding into the game, so I'm afraid I'm not able to show that one off. The interface instead is about what you'd expect. As you're exploring, hit A to bring up a menu, and you can talk to people, use your items, use your mental abilities, search, or check out your stats. You have a limited number of inventory slots, but they are divided up between equipment and consumables. Outside of town, when you're attacked, you give orders to each person in your party to attack, use their mental abilities, run away, or use an item. If two party members attack the same monster, and it dies after a single attack, the second party member doesn't retarget. But you're going to be doing so little damage, you're going to want to concentrate everyone anyways. In Japan, STED is not well regarded. In fact, I found two weirdly consistent comments about the game. The grind is absolutely absurd, and apparently a lot of people thought the shopkeep girl was hot. And as for myself, it's not like I was able to form any judgment beyond, wow, this initial grind is the worst. STED is a game that wants to drag itself out as long as possible, and there's nowhere near enough here to justify that.